Intelligence and national security reporter Ken Delaney and NBC News White House correspondent Kristen Welker. So, Ken, help us. Let's put this to rest. Is the president under investigation?
Katie, NBC News has reported that he is, and we base our report on our source, a former senior intelligence official familiar with the matter, who is aware that Bob Mueller, the special counsel, is planning to interview two senior intelligence officials, DNI Dan Coates and Mike Rogers, the head of the NSA, about conversations that Donald Trump had with them, seeking to get them to say there was no collusion with Russia. And he's doing that in the context of an obstruction of justice inquiry. And by the way, our report was confirming the Washington Post story that you referenced that had many more sources. So that's really not in dispute, and in fact there is no obligation and no standard practice for the Justice Department to notify somebody that they're under investigation until they're about to be indicted. Then they may get a target letter, but that's way down the line. That's not where we are right now, but there's no doubt that Donald Trump is under investigation.
In addition to Coates and Rogers, what else will Robert Mueller be doing to investigate this?
Well, so he's looking at obstruction of justice. He's already had from James Comey in his testimony a textbook example. I mean, Comey laid out all the elements of obstruction of justice in public. Now, Bob Mueller has to go and corroborate Comey's story. So presumably he's going to want to interview numerous people inside the White House and the FBI, anyone who was in a meeting with Donald Trump. He's going to want to interview, obviously, Coates and Rogers and anyone else that Donald Trump talked to about the investigation. He's going to look at documents, and then at the end of the day, he's going to decide, do they have a provable case here?
Sometimes the forest gets lost for the trees in these circumstances, but the larger issue at hand, Ken, is the Russia investigation and what this country is doing to stop Russia from trying to interfere in our elections. So what's going on with that?
Precious little, Katie, as far as I can tell. That's a really important question, and I've been doing some reporting on it, and there's going to be some hearings on it in Congress this week. There is no whole-of-government initiative from the Trump administration to deal with this problem. There are two fronts, right? One is, has Russia paid a price? Has Russia been deterred to not want to hack the U.S. again? The answer to that appears to be no. Secondly, what are we doing to shore up the state election systems and to look at how fake news traverses our social media platforms? There's very little going on there. DHS is doing a few things, but the state election officials are resisting because they don't want federal interference in their elections, and sometimes it breaks down along partisan lines. But that's a really interesting question that you've raised, and the answer is not much is happening.
Wow. Kristen Welker, does the White House think that the president is under investigation?